is Glenn Roberts and Allie Nicholson.
Thank you, Kevin, and gentlemen, it is just an honor to be here tonight telling our story. We're in great company with Chemo Buddies and the Albion Fellows Bacon. So whatever happens, it's a win-win tonight. Tri-State Food Bank. Hopefully, many of you have heard of Tri-State Food Bank. Has anyone been there to volunteer? I want to see if yes. Oh, great. Our vision at Tri-State Food Bank is that everyone in the Tri-State will have access to adequate, nutritious food. Very simple. Food's a basic necessity. I could spend all evening, I won't, talking about statistics, but the reality is that 1 in 6 adults and 1 in 5 children in this area, 1 in 6 adults, 1 in 5 children face food insecurity, which means they don't know where their next meal is going to come from. So the need is great. I'd love to be out of business, but it's not going to happen because this is a broken world and there's hardship. And our job is to make sure that people have adequate food. I want to ask you a question. Often when I do tours at the food bank, I love giving tours to people who've never been there before. They're usually quite surprised at the scope of what we do. One of the questions I get asked a lot is, well, what's the difference between a food bank and a food pantry? Can anyone answer that in like 3 or 4 words? Okay, I will. A food bank, what we do as a food bank is we collect mass quantities of food, and in a word, we are a distributor. We are a distributor to pantries and soup kitchens. We're kind of like that middleman. It's a great link in the food chain, and that's what we do. If people come to us looking for food, we actually refer them to a pantry or soup kitchen. How do we do it? As I tell people, food banks look for 3 things. We need 3 things as a food bank. We need food, obviously. These are called the 3 F's. Food, funds, and family. And when I talk about family, I'm talking about our family of volunteers. We have so many volunteers who help us at the food bank. Part of our family is our staff. We have a wonderful staff team at Tri-State Food Bank. We have 18 employees, but volunteer-wise, we bring in over 1,000 volunteers over the course of a year, logging in over 16,000 hours. 16,000 hours. You do the math, that's the equivalent of having another 8 full-time people. Could not do it without them. Want to mention, I'm going to embarrass Allie. She's going to say, no, I didn't tell you to say that. In a room full of guys, we got stuff that guys like. We got trucks and we got pallet jacks and forklifts and all that stuff. Wonderful toys at the food bank. But it's the people that make the difference. It really is. And I have to credit the people, not at Tri-State Food Bank, but at the agencies where we distribute the food, the pantries and the soup kitchens, because they are the ones putting the food in the hands of someone. And they're not just giving them a meal. They're not just helping fill their stomach. Often, these people have hit a real low. And when they're at the pantry or soup kitchen, these are the ones who, they might be the only person who's treating them with kindness and dignity and compassion. So it's just not food that they're getting, but they're getting hope. And we're providing stability in their lives. That's the real impact of what we do at Tri-State Food Bank. And just to give you an idea of the amount and the volume of what we do, you can think about it in terms of pounds of food. Over the course of a year, we're on pace to do a record amount this year of 9 million pounds of food through Tri-State Food Bank. And much of it is local. I mean, we serve 33 counties, yes, 12,000 square miles. We have a big footprint. Most of our work is done, as you can imagine, Vanderburgh County, Ward County, Gibson, Posey. That's where most of the need is. That's where most of the population is. 9 million pounds. That's more than I can imagine. So I'm going to give you a little bit of trivia tonight. Instead of thinking about pounds, we like to think in terms of meals, because if you're hungry, you're not asking yourself, gee, I wonder where my next pound's going to come from. You want to know where your next meal's going to come from. So there is actually a conversion factor. The USDA crunched these numbers, and you have to think about what is the average weight of a meal. Can anyone guess? You know, what do you think an average meal weighs in terms of pounds? Any guesses? Anyone brave enough? 12 ounces? Not bad. 16? Not bad. These are good guesses. What's that?
1 pound.
1 pound? That's pretty darn close. It's a little bit more. It's 1.2 pounds. That's 19.2 ounces. So that's your trivia. A meal weighs 1.2 pounds. I'm sure we all eat meals that are only 1.2 pounds. Now you do the math. I have to do the math for myself. The 9 million divided by 1.2, you're going to come up to about 7.5 million meals. And still doing the math, I have to do this math for myself. I can't comprehend that. So I thought, okay, how much is that per month and per week and per day and all of that? So I want you to do something with me. Indulge me. I know it's late. You can do this. I want everyone to inhale. Exhale. That took about 5 seconds. A meal was provided. A meal every 5 seconds. Every 5 seconds. We've been here about 2 hours. We're talking about 1,440 meals since you've been here tonight has been provided through Tri-State Food Bank. It's a very humbling thing to think about. One of our programs we're very proud of is our backpack program. If you haven't heard about our weekend backpack program, it is for kids who are on the free lunch program. And we provide them a bag of food that has 6 meals in there on Fridays, and we work through the schools. And one of the biggest areas that we work with is EVSC. And Tri-State Food Bank, from the very beginning, when we started the backpack program, we've absorbed all the costs of the backpack program. EVSC, we provide them free of charge, and it's an honor to do that, and something we're very, very proud of. So I want to invite you to get involved with Tri-State Food Bank, to become a volunteer. Your eyes will be opened. It's great work. You can be packing backpacks or packing meal boxes for senior citizens. And think of this, too, as a food bank, because of the efficiency of how we do things, using volunteers, getting donated food, $1 donated to Tri-State Food Bank is providing 7 meals. 7 meals for $1. So let's say if a check for, say, $10,000 or something came in, you know, that's 70,000 meals right there. So anyway, I can open it up for questions. I think I have like 30 seconds left. I do appreciate your time. Any questions for me or Tri-State Food Bank?
What are your hours of operation?
For volunteers, we can take volunteers during the day from 8 a.m. to 4:30. Usually they do a morning shift or an afternoon shift, and you can sign up online. Great question. So I'm going to keep elaborating. We can also take volunteers. The first and third Saturday of the month is called a volunteer blitz, 9 to noon, first and third Saturday. You can also sign up online for that.
Minimum age of volunteers?
You can be as young as 8 with parental. We have to have a parent or guardian there. 15 without the parent. Great question. Okay, I can take applause now.